What is up, everybody? And we're back with a new One Punch Man, the strongest SSR review. We're striking while the iron is hot, back-to-back videos, baby! So we're looking at the PvE machine G4. No pun intended. Let's have a look at our subject of today, shall we? So his pros. He has an insane passive. That's 117% scaling times 3 depending on how many debuffs you have, and it's very common to have debuff now. We're running injury comps. He himself can strike 2 types of debuff, so he can actually scale it times 2 only on his own. He's also considered an essential bossing unit, so you can pair RMG, Boros, G4, in the future Sonic, all together to actually build up a supreme bossing team to do extreme damage to single target PvE. And he is one of the best single target debuffer. Not only does he inflict weaken, but he also is able to shatter, and that allows him to actually scale up his damage as well, so there's good synergy within his kit. So the cons is that he's exclusive to the hero backup, so you won't be able to get him via elite pools unlike the other units such as Lin, Jose, etc. He's also another primal gear user, so RIP primal gear users, you not only have to supply for Boros, you have to supply for RMG and now G4. And you also need to build him with crit in order to maximize his kit. To trigger his weaken, you actually need to crit. And his best use is only in PvE. You can use him in monster side PvP, but he's a little bit underwhelming over there because you're looking for more AoE, and with RMG you're going to be having a lot of follow-ups and all that, so it's not really that useful, but he can still be slotted in as a filler unit. Now let's have a look at how he performs in the meta. Hello everybody, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you back to a new session of meta analysis, where we will be looking at the featured unit and how they perform in their respective meta. So let's have a look at G4 and how he actually does as a bossing unit. Do take note that this G4 is minimally invested, so you shouldn't be seeing too high values of damage. So his ultimate ///. So 2 million damage is not a lot, but I guess for the lower spending tier players, I think that would be some good consistent damage if you're able to build him well. Granted, this G4 only has like 200k attack, so you won't be seeing like massive values from him anyways. So bossing wise, he shouldn't be doing too much damage. So let's just have a look at how much damage he actually does percentage wise to Boros, but I'm not really assuming much because one is not trained properly. So he's able to do some damage. It's not a lot. He still does more than Suryu at least. So I would say in terms of bossing, solid pick. So let's have a look at his skills and description. Now let's have a look at G4. So let's get into the thick of his skills. So his passive, for every type of debuff an enemy has, is introducing a new mechanic called charge power. So when attacking, you deal a bonus 117% damage as a charge up attack, and it stacks up to 3 times. So when there is a shattered enemy, grants a tenacity shield worth 20% of your max HP. So this is the passive. It's quite good because you're able to get more damage the more debuffs. Examples of debuff is corrode, burn, weaken, shatter, injury, internal injury. So as long as you have 3 of any of these stats, you should be doing insane amounts of damage with G4. For his basic attack, you deal 200. You deal 140% of your attack, and you have a 100% chance to shatter your target for 2 rounds. Damage received by the target increased by 15%. Meanwhile, on his ultimate, you hit a single target dealing 240% damage with a 100% chance to apply Shatter, increasing the damage taken by 30%. If you critically strike, you are able to weaken the enemy for 2 rounds and they deal 25% less damage. And when it's upgraded to his Ultra, you deal 300% of your attack damage with a 100% chance to apply Shatter again, but this time for 40%, increasing by 10% the Shatter damage taken. And then when a critical hit procs, you apply a weaken with 45% less damage done by the enemy. So this is actually very essential for you if you're struggling in world bosses, struggling in club boss worlds, and you're having a tough time getting kicked around or bullied by the PvE content. This is a very necessary skill. If you accidentally wash an attack buff gear with some critical stats for high tech, now is the time to slot it into this big boy over here. Nevertheless, based on the skill descriptions alone, I can see how he is not viable for PvP, just because it takes time for him to stack up his charge power, and there's no guarantee that you'll be able to land it. Certain debuffers you can guarantee. Oh, I'm so sorry guys. Certain debuffers you can guarantee, such as Glory Bus, Ultimate, but there are some RNG dependent like Phoenix Man Ultimate. And viability wise, I would say in the PvP ecosystem, he might just be used as a temporary single target solution until RNG comes out. For PvE, he's still, viability wise, he's still quite good, I would say. The weaken definitely is something new. The only other weakener we have, if I'm not mistaken, for monster side is Fukegao. For hero, we have Jet Nice Guy and we have PPP. So PPP of course still has the highest weaken percentage, 50%, but this comes close at 45%. So definitely a good pick. If you're pulling the backup stick, definitely please try to get him as soon as possible. Of course, go for level 200 or above. I have already dropped my backup stick guide, so you can just check it out in the link down below. As well as, you must understand that this unit is not easy to max, especially since that we have new units coming in. Some people are still training up their bureau to get their purple 5 stars, and some of you are preparing to get RNG. So any form of extra shards that you get from the backup stick is welcome, because that will allow you to actually 4-star him, which is quite good in my honest opinion, because you need to open talents for him to be able to deal insane amount of damage. Nevertheless, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this type of video oriented style. I'm trying to stray away from more slides. I'll still keep some slides and use them as a reference point, but I don't want to make it so wordy. So I really hope that you enjoy this new style. If you don't, let me know down in the comments. I can always go back to my old video presentations from that. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your patience and for your understanding. I'm actually going through a rough patch right now and I'm quite exhausted. So I might be taking a week break after this. So thank you so much once again everybody for tuning in. As always, I love your continuous support. It makes me feel very happy that I have an online community to get to if I have any issues in life. Till we meet again everybody. Peace.